Have you ever felt that something within you doesn't fit in this world? As if your soul knows a truth that your mind can't yet name. It's not madness. It's not anxiety. It's not emotional neediness. It's a sign. And what is happening now on the spiritual plane explains precisely why you feel this emptiness in your chest, even when surrounded by people. Why no relationship seems to fill that sacred space within you. And why, even without knowing it, your soul has always been waiting for someone specific. Someone who was marked, set apart and reserved by God even before you were born. There is a person at this very moment, breathing the same air as you, walking on the same earth, looking at the same sky. And this person is being silently prepared by the Creator himself to cross your path. And what I'm about to reveal will completely change the way you see love, encounters, and why all your previous attempts failed. Pay attention, chosen one, because this is more serious than it seems. Most people spend their entire lives trying to find love in the wrong places, with the wrong people, at the wrong time. And then they wonder why they always end up hurt, betrayed, abandoned, or living empty relationships that consume the soul instead of nourishing it. The truth no one told you is this: you were not made for just any love. You were made for a marked love. A love that already has a name written in the book of life. A love that was sealed in heaven before anything happened down here. And while you were trying to force the wrong doors, the adversary took advantage of every stumble to place people in your path who only served to delay, sabotage, and hurt what God was silently building. Have you ever stopped to think why every time you got close to something real, something fell apart? Why someone from the past appeared, a sudden argument, an unfounded suspicion, an inexplicable distance? It's not a coincidence. There is an invisible war being waged around your heart because the adversary knows exactly who was set aside for you. He knows the spiritual potential of this union. He knows that when two chosen ones unite, it's not just an earthly union that happens. It's a fusion of purposes, a multiplication of authority, the fulfillment of a promise he has tried to prevent his entire life. And that is why he works so hard to distract you with people who seem right, but never are. The whole world wants this person that God has set aside for you. Do you understand the gravity of this? This person attracts interest wherever they go. They have something different, a light, a presence, a magnetism that draws people in. Many will want to touch this life. Many will try to seduce, manipulate, approach with false intentions. But there is something none of them can offer. There is an invisible mark, a spiritual frequency that only matches yours. And that is why, even surrounded by options, this person feels alone. Even receiving attention from all sides, their heart remains untouched, because they are also waiting. They also feel this emptiness. They also know deep down that someone specific is being prepared for them somewhere, and that someone is you. Have you ever felt that something within you doesn't fit in this world? As if your soul knows a truth that your mind can't yet name. This feeling of not belonging to common loves, of not being content with little, of feeling that everyone around you settles for relationships that seem insufficient to you, all of this is proof that you are not an observer of this cosmic love story. You are a central piece of it. There is a game being played in layers that most people cannot see. A game where invisible forces try to divert chosen ones from their true partners, planting illusions, creating emotional traps, placing people with an angel's appearance but with a demon's mission in the path of those God has separated. And meanwhile, the right person continues to be prepared, refined, purified, waiting for the exact moment of encounter. That's why I wrote this ebook, the handbook for those chosen by God to protect the family. This ebook is not just reading material, it's a map. A map that shows who is playing against your love life, what the spiritual rules are that they never told you about divinely orchestrated encounters, how to identify the right person, and unmask the emotional traps the adversary plants in your path, and what has already been revealed about that exact moment when chosen ones are being reunited with their original counterparts. This ebook was created for those who have already awakened enough to know that true love isn't found on an app, isn't won through manipulation, and doesn't last without spiritual covering. It's for those ready to go beyond the shallow answers the world offers about relationships The link is pinned to the top of the comments. But I need to warn you, this type of content rarely stays available for long. What's in these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact. Because a chosen one who finds their true counterpart becomes a gigantic spiritual threat, and there have already been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen one, because you didn't arrive at this text by accident. Download now and comment below. I'm the chosen one, and I'm downloading the ebook. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will show you exactly how to recognize this person when they cross your path. There are signs, chosen one, signs that God leaves so you don't go astray, and the first sign is discomfort. Yes, you read that right. When this person approaches, you will feel a strange discomfort, because they will stir up areas of your life that have been dormant. They will challenge your patterns. They will pull you out of your comfort zone. They will make you question everything you thought you wanted. This happens because divinely orchestrated encounters are not comfortable at first. They are transformative. They break down structures, they tear down walls, they expose wounds that needed healing. If you've had relationships where everything was easy, everything was too light, everything seemed perfect in the first few days, chosen one, that wasn't God's love. That was the adversary's enchantment. True love goes through refinement, goes through trial, goes through the desert, because only then does it prove itself eternal. The second sign is immediate recognition. When you look into this person's eyes, something within you will awaken. An ancient memory, a sense of having known them before, a strange peace mixed with a chill down your spine. This happens because your soul recognizes what your mind doesn't yet know. Souls talk before mouths do. They meet on the spiritual plane long before the physical plane, and when they finally cross paths down here, your whole body feels it. It's not common attraction, it's not lust, it's not fleeting passion. It's spiritual recognition, it's a sacred reunion. And anyone who has felt this once knows they can never settle for less again. But chosen one, pay attention to this warning because it is fundamental. The adversary knows these signs better than you do. He has studied this for millennia, and he knows how to imitate. He puts people in your path who cause this same type of sensation, but for completely different reasons. There are people who awaken a false recognition in you, because in reality, they carry energies that have hurt you in other lives, in other dimensions, in other layers of your spiritual history. And your body confuses old pain with true love. That's why so many chosen ones get stuck in relationships that seem like destiny, but are actually traps. That's why so many swear eternal love to those sent to destroy them. You need discernment. You need open spiritual eyes. You need to know how to differentiate a calling from a trap. And this is precisely where most of the chosen ones fail. They feel it, they sense it, they suspect that someone is destined for them. But they settle for what appears before its time, and then comes disappointment, betrayal, abandonment, divorce, broken families, children growing up in fractured homes, hardened hearts, disbelief in love, the deep loneliness of those who have tried everything and nothing has worked. And the worst part, while this is happening, the right person continues passing through life, suffering in the same way, marrying the wrong person, getting involved with those who only hurt, and the two never meet. Two destined souls separated by haste, anxiety, lack of spiritual discernment. This is one of the greatest silent tragedies happening in the world today. But you will not be just another one. You will not let this happen to you. Because now you know, now you have information, now you have awareness. And awareness is spiritual power. When you understand that there is a game, you stop being a manipulated piece and become a player. When you understand that there is someone destined for you, you stop accepting just anything. When you understand that the adversary actively works to sabotage this encounter, you start praying differently, positioning yourself differently, preserving yourself differently. And that's when the turnaround happens. That's why I prepared this ebook, the manual for God's chosen ones to protect the family. Because protecting a family begins long before marriage, chosen one. It begins even before the first date. It begins the moment you decide no longer to waste your energy, your time, your intimacy on someone not set apart for you by God. This ebook teaches exactly that. how to identify your true match through spiritual signs that most ignore, how to break family curses that prevent destined encounters, how to close spiritual doors that attract the wrong people into your life, how to internally prepare yourself to receive that love without sabotaging it due to old traumas, how to keep that relationship protected after it happens, because the attack doesn't end when you meet, chosen one, it just changes form. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. Don't let it pass. This kind of knowledge is systematically persecuted because a family of chosen ones united by God is an unbreakable fortress, and the adversary knows this better than anyone. Comment now. I'm the chosen one and I'm downloading the ebook. After this commitment, what I'm about to reveal will show you what that person is feeling at this very moment as you listen to me. Yes, chosen one. She is feeling it. At this exact instant, as you read these words, she is going through something. Perhaps she's awake in the middle of the night for no reason. Perhaps she feels a tightness in her chest for no apparent reason. Perhaps she's thinking of you without knowing it's you, because the spirit knows no distance. And when two destined souls are about to cross paths, their spiritual fields begin to communicate even before the physical encounter. It's a supernatural attunement, a divine anticipation, a preparation that happens behind the scenes while daily life goes on. She also has stories. She also has scars. She has also been hurt, betrayed, disappointed. She has also wondered many times if she would ever find someone worth it. She is also tired of lowering her expectations to fit into small people. And she too, chosen one, is being prepared at this moment to receive you wholly, with your brokenness, with your pain, with your story. Because chosen ones do not fall in love for the perfection of the other. Chosen ones recognize each other in each other's scars. They see beauty where others would see flaws. They honor the journey that brought the other person here. They understand that every stumble was part of the path that led them to this sacred encounter. And there's one more thing you need to know. This person won't come to you the way you imagine. The adversary also tries to plant a specific image in your head, a closed expectation, a predefined script of how this love should appear. And when it doesn't appear exactly that way, you let it pass. You don't recognize it. You think it's not it. Chosen one, God is creative. He works in mysterious ways. This person can arrive in a completely unexpected way. It can be through a friendship no one bet on. It can be after a painful loss. It can be at a moment when you had given up. It can be in a phase when you don't think you're worthy of love. Precisely then, because God loves to surprise. God loves to break patterns. God loves to restore what seemed impossible. You need to prepare yourself to receive this encounter. And preparation begins within. It starts by breaking that pattern of sabotage that you've been repeating for years without realizing it. It starts by forgiving people from the past who still occupy space in your heart. It starts by closing cycles that you swear you've closed but still leave the door ajar. It starts by recognizing your own traumas and working on them before they work on the new relationship. Because listen closely, you attract what you are, chosen one. Not what you want, not what you deserve, not what you dream of. You attract what you are. If you still carry wounds, you attract wounded people. If you still have glaring neediness, you attract manipulators. If you still fear abandonment, you attract those who confirm that fear. That's why inner preparation is fundamental before the outer encounter. And here's a truth that hurts but liberates. Many times God holds back this encounter precisely because you are not ready yet. Not because you don't deserve it, but because He loves you too much to give you something so precious while you would still destroy it. While your hands are not yet firm enough to hold so much, while your heart is not yet healed enough to love without poisoning, while your mind is not yet renewed enough to see without distorting, God is merciful, chosen one. And sometimes what seems like delay is protection. What seems like silence is preparation. What seems like absence is the divine backstage actively working on your story. Meanwhile, He also works on her story. He shapes you both separately so that when you meet, it is perfect. Not perfect in the sense of without problems, but perfect in the sense of fitting together. Perfect in the sense of making sense. Perfect in the sense that when you look back, you will understand why every previous relationship failed. You will be grateful for every closed door. You will bless every rejection that hurt you, because all of them were necessary detours to lead you to this person, and she will feel the same. She will also look at her story and understand. And you both will realize that God's hand was present in every detail, even when it seemed absent. But there is something that can delay or even prevent this encounter, and I need to warn you about it, because few people talk about it. There is a spiritual curtain that forms over the lives of those who carry unbroken family curses. If your family has a history of destroyed marriages, repetitive separations, generational infidelities, loneliness that passes from generation to generation, chosen one, there is something spiritual happening there. And until this is broken in the unseen, it will hardly manifest in the visible. You may even find this person, but the encounter will be sabotaged. You may even start the relationship, but it will be undermined from within. Because what is not healed at the spiritual root manifests as a physical pattern. And generational patterns are the quietest prisons that exist, because people don't even know they are trapped. They think it's destiny. It was precisely with this in mind that this ebook was created. The Manual for God's Chosen Ones to Protect the Family is literally a manual to break these invisible chains before they destroy what God has prepared for you. This ebook contains specific strategic prayers for appointed meetings. It contains revelations on how to identify family curses that are blocking your true love. It contains teachings on spiritual authority to claim what has already been set aside in heaven for you. It contains practical guidance on how to position yourself spiritually so that this meeting happens at the right time, in the right way, with the right person. It's not just any book, chosen one. It's a spiritual warfare tool disguised as reading material. The link is at the top of the pinned comments. This knowledge bothers many people because families united by God are deep roots in hostile soil, and there has always been an interest in keeping chosen ones separated from each other, scattered, distracted, involved with the wrong people. Download now. Comment: I'm the chosen one and I'm downloading the ebook, because the next truth I'll tell you is about time. And time, chosen one, is the most silent weapon against chosen ones who hesitate. Time is everything, chosen one, and this is where many miss their appointed meetings, because while God prepares, while God organizes, while God aligns stars, situations, cities, seemingly chance encounters, the adversary works in haste. He plants anxiety. He instills in you the urgency to solve this now at any cost with anyone. He makes you feel that time is running out, that you are falling behind, that everyone around you is getting married and you are still alone. And in this haste you accept less, in this haste you force doors. In this haste you accept relationships you know you shouldn't. In this haste you miss the real encounter by not being able to wait a little longer. Haste is from the adversary, chosen one. God is not in a hurry. God has time. God has the right time. God has kairos, and that divine time that when it arrives, and when it arrives nothing can stop it. But before this time, everything that is forced collapses. Everything that is anticipated rots. Everything that is rushed becomes contaminated. Have you noticed how the things God does last, and how the things we force always go wrong? It's not a coincidence. It's a spiritual law. What is born outside of God's time is born without covering. And what is born without covering, the adversary has legal access to destroy. So breathe, trust, wait. Not passively, chosen one, because waiting is not spiritual laziness. Waiting is active preparation. While you wait, you work on yourself. While you wait, you break patterns. While you wait, you pray, fast, position yourself. While you wait, you learn to love yourself first, because he who doesn't know how to love himself ends up begging for love from others, and a beggar of love always attracts an exploiter. Learn to be enough for yourself before needing another. Learn to be happy alone before demanding that someone make you happy. Learn to fill your voids with God before trying to fill them with anyone. Because when you arrive whole at the meeting, you don't seek completion, you share fullness. And that's how God wants to deliver this relationship into your life. There's a curious thing that happens with chosen ones. When they finally surrender, when they finally stop forcing, when they finally quiet themselves before God and say, I trust your timing, that's when everything moves quickly. It's as if heaven were waiting for this surrender. It's as if the cord holding back the blessing were cut the exact moment you free. Many chosen ones spend years fighting for something that would have come in months if they had simply trusted. Don't repeat this mistake. You've heard this message, you've been warned, you've been prepared. Now it's time to act wisely. And acting wisely means recognizing the signs when they come. Pay attention to your dreams from now on. Chosen one. Chosen ones often receive warnings through dreams. Not the usual confusing dreams, but those dreams where you wake up knowing it was different. Those dreams where you saw a face and couldn't forget it. Those dreams where someone told you something specific. Those dreams where you felt supernatural peace. Write down these dreams. Pray over them. Ask for discernment. God speaks through them, especially when it comes to divinely appointed encounters, because He wants to prepare you. He wants to warn you. He wants to guide you. Also pay attention to repeating coincidences, names that appear multiple times, places that come up in different conversations, numbers that repeat, situations that echo. Chosen ones live in a web of synchronicities that others don't perceive, because the spiritual world is constantly whispering directions. If you learn to hear these whispers, you won't miss the path. You won't miss the moment. You won't mistake a real encounter for a well-disguised trap. You develop the chosen one's sixth sense, that inner knowing that knows before it knows, that feels before it sees, that recognizes before it understands. And when that encounter finally happens, chosen one, you will know. Not because it will be thunder in the heavens, but because there will be a peace, a strange peace, a peace that contradicts even romantic euphoria. You will look at this person and feel that you can finally rest, that you can finally be yourself, that you have finally found home in another human being, and they will feel the same. You will look at each other and know that this is different, that this is sacred, that this is divine responsibility. Because divinely appointed encounters are not just pleasure, chosen one, they are purpose. You were brought together to fulfill something together that you couldn't accomplish apart. You were reunited to generate a lineage, an inheritance, a family with a divine seal that will shake invisible structures for generations. And this is precisely what the adversary fears most. A family of chosen ones aligned with heaven is a nightmare for him, because this family prays together, this family fights together, this family raises children who will carry their parents' authority multiplied. This family becomes a reference, becomes a beacon, becomes an instrument of awakening for other chosen ones around. That's why the war is so intense before this encounter. That's why the sabotages are so creative. That's why so many give up along the way. But you will not give up, chosen one, because you understood, and those who understand resist. Close your eyes for a moment and feel. Feel that this person exists. Feel that they are being prepared. Feel that their steps are being directed right now so that they cross your path at the right time. Feel God's hand writing this story from before you were born. Feel the silent certainty that nothing you have lived through was in vain. Every pain, every rejection, every failed relationship, every night crying, it was all part of the preparation for this encounter. And now you are closer than ever. You are more prepared than ever. You are more aware than ever. And awareness is the key that opens spiritual doors that have been closed for a long time. That's why I never tire of reminding you about this ebook, the manual for those chosen by God to protect the family. Because it is the natural continuation of this message you just heard. It delves deeper into every truth I've shared here. It gives you the spiritual tools so that this encounter is not just a dream but a reality that manifests in your life. He teaches you how to pray specifically for this person even before meeting them, how to declare their arrival with authority, how to prepare your physical and spiritual environment to receive them, how to identify the subtle sabotages that will come just before the encounter, how to shield this relationship as soon as it begins, how to build a family together that will withstand any attack. This ebook is not optional for you, chosen one. It is strategic, because everything you just learned here needs to be applied, needs to be sustained, needs to be lived daily, and the ebook is the map that accompanies you in this process. The link is pinned at the top of the comments now. Don't leave it for later. Don't trust later. Later is the biggest lie the adversary has ever told chosen ones who almost changed their lives. Download now, comment below. I'm the chosen one and I'm downloading the ebook. Sealing this commitment changes the spiritual field around you immediately, and the next chapter of your story begins to be written differently from this act of faith. Chosen one, you didn't get here by chance. You didn't open this video by chance. You didn't feel this tightness in your chest while listening by chance. You are here because the Spirit itself brought you, because the time has come for you to understand who you are, what has been prepared for you, and how to position yourself to receive. The love of your life is not a myth. It is not fantasy. It is not romantic illusion. It is a concrete promise written in heaven with your name, and this promise is closer than you imagine. In the meantime, live. Live fully. Don't put your life on pause waiting for this encounter. Fulfill your dreams. Take care of your body. Invest in knowledge. Serve God with joy. Be light wherever you go. Because this person is also doing the same. And when you meet, she will be impressed by the man or woman you have become during this preparation period. She will recognize in you the hand of God shaping every detail, and you will recognize in her the same process. Two masterpieces of God meeting at the exact point where each journey made sense. This is destiny. This is divine choice. This is reserved for you. Do not accept a substitute. Do not accept consolation. Do not accept a half-hearted relationship. Do not sell your spiritual birthright for a bowl of emotional lentils. You were set apart for something great. Wait for the great. Prepare for the great. Pray for the great. Download this ebook now, commit, seal this spiritual pact, comment your declaration below, and prepare yourself, chosen one, because when heaven moves, everything changes very quickly. And heaven is moving for you right now. The person reserved by God is closer than you imagine. And the next chapter of your eternal love story is about to begin.